Peace and welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm GKlo, and today we'll be continuing our series of Voyage, which is a series where I use principles from the book The Art of Competitive Pokemon by Mr. Jamvad. This is the book right here. Valuable stuff, but today we'll be going over the principle of leads and their importance, and being more of a proactive player rather than a reactive player. Now, just a quick little thing, I wanted to say that my side mission, or my side quest rather, has plundered because the in-game ladder actually is already doing the Regulation E format, and that's what I was going to do because Showdown Regulation D format is dead at the moment. So I was going to try to get top 50 on there, but yeah, it only applies to in real life events where they're still doing Regulation D at the moment until October 1st, so that's why. But we still got top 55, so I'm so satisfied with it. But I do have a new team that I want to show you guys. Like usual, we'll break it down, and I'll go over the principles in the book a little bit before the battles, and then we'll get right into it. So as for the team, as you can see, we'll pretty much be using the same team that we used last live, with just a very minor adjustment. So minor that you probably don't even notice it, and it's right here. I just gave Rillaboom Woodhammer and Grassy Glide, and I took off and knock off. Now the reason I did this was just so that I could have double priority, because it's really strong. You know, Rillaboom having Grassy Glide, like, you can't go wrong with that at all, especially against those water type Pokemon and Terra water types that may be faster than us too, and we're able to remove them before they can do anything to us in return. But the team is still the same purpose, same intention with the team, just Tailwind balance. Decently fast Pokemon. We have Scarflanders. We have a pretty bulky Fluttermane with a good bit of speed into it as well. Decently speeded Shifu, Heatran, etc. And under Tailwind, they do perform well because of their speed tiers, and they hit very hard too because of their natural offensive prowess. But we can also take hits because, as you see, we have the Fire Water Grass Core, and then Heatran's magnificent typing allows us to be able to actually have a pretty nice matchup into the occasional Armrouge and DD matchups, the Trick Room matchups, because we have Rillaboom and Heatran. We can change to Rain. Again, we get priority Grassy Glide now, so yeah, that's going to be the team, guys. Nothing too different. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get into the book a bit, just go over a little bit of the principles, and then we'll get right into the battles. Hey, what do you know, back from the future, got a new shirt on and everything, huh? But you guys know how we do it. I want to just read a little paragraph out of the book real quick, just so you guys can get a better understanding and kind of see why we're even going over this principle to begin with, and to help you you know, see why it's important. So this is a section called How to Select the Lead, and Jam goes on to say, earlier I mentioned not going into battle with a reactive mindset. This is still the case. The reason you want to think about the opponent's threats first is because you never want to lead with a Pokemon that loses immediately to your opponent's biggest threat, because that leaves you open from the onset of battle. Open here means the opponent has the potential to deal a significant amount of damage without you getting anything in return. Your opponent can sap a lot of value from you, so in this instance, select a Pokemon that prevents the most threatening Pokemon on the opponent's team from doing too much damage. Leading is about protection first and foremost, and as the battle goes on, you will still be focused on executing your game plan. Now, with all of that said, we can see why the lead is important and significant, because as what we just concluded with, he said your lead can guard you against potentially losing a Pokemon right off the jump value, and you get like little to nothing in return because of that, simply because you just did not lead well. On top of that, the lead is also like your safety net, so to say, something you can fall back on, because even though we may have a Pokemon that they can't deal well with either, we don't necessarily want to lead that Pokemon all the time if they have things that guard well against it, you know, especially because if they have something that we can't guard against, and then we have that Pokemon out on the field, we have to switch it out because that's our win con. Now we're letting other Pokemon drop because, again, we just didn't lead properly. So it's a way to protect ourselves and also just be able to play, like people say, the safe game. Just play it out, no need to rush it. But that's what we'll be emphasizing in this battle. I'll be explaining why I'm leading, what I'm leading, and what my game plan is going forward, because all these principles, they compound upon another. Nothing's different. Game plan, we're still doing that. leads, what can't they guard against, what can I guard against. We want to be doing all of that. So as you guys follow along, I hope you can see the value of why this is important and why it can drastically improve and influence our games. So with that said, let's go ahead and find a battle. Alright, real quick, I just wanted to change my EVs up slightly because I noticed that Ogerpon hits like 130 minimum speed. So I want my Heatran to at least outspeed like no speed invested Ogerpons. So here we can identify that Heatran is definitely going to be significant. What do you know, just like last video, huh? But Heatran is very significant because they don't guard well against it at all. Earth Power, Torkoal, Heat Wave is free, Flash Cannon, the Carbink, right? So now the question is, how am I going to get that in a position to win this game? From face value, we can see that we don't guard too well against their size spam. Well, not really the size spam, more like Gallade. Gallade does a lot to my team. We do have Intimidate Landers, which will help, but nothing will appreciate taking a hit from Gallade, which is something we need to be careful about. So with that said, my Heatran is going to be significant. Their Gallade is a problem for me. So with those things in mind, I'm going to end up leading my Torn and my Landorus. Now my Torn and my Landorus is being led here because my Landorus is Scarfed. We get Prankster Tailwind up and I outspeed everything that they have. If they want to lead in DD, I'll be a little wary because they may Trick Room. So but me leading this, I can U-turn and reposition if I need to. If it is Gallade and DD, I can go Rillaboom, get rid of the terrain. It's already intimidated, so it won't take too much damage. Kind of see where I'm going with this, and then I'll have Heatran in the back. So that's my game plan. My game plan is to use Landorus to pave the way for Heatran. Even if they lead Torkoal and this thing right here, Landorus Torn, still we're going to be faster because we have Scarf and Tailwind. So they end up leading this. Now Carbink, I know it gets like screens. I wonder if it gets Trick Room. I would not be surprised to see Trick Room here. But look, Gallade's already intimidated, so I'm honestly not going to think about this turn too much. I'm going to cycle my Intimidates here. So me going Heatran for Landorus is pretty safe, even though I'm paving the way, getting this Gallade out the way, right? But what I'm going to do is go Rillaboom so I can get the fake out pressure next turn, and then go my because I'm not really doing much here with Torn. So I'm going to go Rillaboom and I'm going to U-turn immediately. We're going to U-turn on the Carbink because it's the most least likely to protect this turn. And now I go Heatran as a side cut, and look how much that did. That's Life Orb too, and they got a light screen, which is something I definitely don't want to see. It has Clear Body. Oh, okay, we found that out because of Intimidate. Nice, very nice. Okay, now based off of that damage, I think a Sacred Sword might KO my Heatran even through Intimidate, which is not cool. So I'm going to play this turn safe and just Flash Cannon the Gallade, and Flash Cannon the Carbink, and prevent Gallade from moving this turn. And my Heatran's actually faster, we just saw that, so that's nice. Skill swap, ooh, okay. But you got Torkoal in the back or something? But after seeing that, I can't even make the Heat Wave play. It probably wouldn't KO anyways, but after seeing that, I definitely want to get this thing out the way. Carbink's not really an offensive threat to me, like it's just kind of sitting there. It's going to probably get up another screen though. So we'll Grassy Glide here and Flash Cannon. As he Trick Roomed, okay. Well, okay, so they got Trick Room up, right? Now if there's Torkoal in the back, then 9 times out of 10 I will probably have to Terra my, as it is my Rillaboom. But I'm not going to play this like I'm not going to play this recklessly. I'm going to try to get my Heatran back in, or my Landorus in, to where I can, attack this Torkoal. So we're going to U-turn. We're going to U-turn on the Torkoal just to weaken the eruption power as much as we can, and we're going to protect because we're not Flash Fire anymore. And now we go into a Pokemon that can actually protect, so I can buy myself a turn. What do you go for? Earth Power? Right, so now I can protect. Now the thing, I can just sack Rillaboom here. No, not Rillaboom, what am I saying? I was thinking I could sack Landorus. But the thing is, I'd actually rather get Landorus and Rillaboom in at the same time. So I might actually just sack my Torn here with Heatran rather than making that protect play that I was just talking about. Because neither of these two can protect. And I would rather both of these be in at the same time. So I'll go ahead and sack them both. Yeah, that skill swap kind of just did us in, I'm not gonna lie. But now I fake out Torkoal, and if he protects, I mean, there's really nothing else I can do about it because we still have 2 more turns left of Trick Room. But yeah, that skill swap was not something that even crossed my mind. So I did consider Trick Room, I did. So I could have been more proactive. I could have been more, proactive about getting rid of Carbink. Now it's on Landorus to live this turn. It's on Landorus to live this turn. If Landorus doesn't live this turn, then we may just lose the game. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we just lost that. I did too much. Well, that's hey, sometimes it happens like that. I'm still satisfied with the way I played that, but regardless, the thing that I could have maybe done differently was because Gallade was intimidated, right? So I didn't need to play super safe, and if it push come to shove, I could have just teared my Heatran so that I wouldn't faint to Sacred Sword. Alright, this next game, another game where Heatran, they just don't go well against Heatran. Now what is this Bronzor doing? Probably a Violite. Okay. Thing about Heatran here is I really need to get Iron Hand severely weakened, or Ursaluna like at least below half, so that I could clean up with KO these with Heat Wave. But in Trick Room, if they get Trick Room up, I'd have to Terror this most likely. So my priority is going to be to stop them from getting up Trick Room, so that I can getting up Trick Room and then getting Chip on the Ursaluna and the King Gambit, so my Heatran can win this game. But in order for me to stop them from getting up Trick Room, I have to lead Rillaboom for Fake Out. And see, I could go Flutter Mane with Taunt, right? Because either is Bronzor going for yeah, it's only Bronzor with Trick Room. Now I could go Flutter Mane with Taunt, but if it's Mental Herb, that's just, I can't do nothing about that. There's really nothing else for me to lead I'm seeing at the moment, but I want Heatran and I might bring her Shifu. Yeah, I'll bring her Shifu over. I really like the Intimidate because a lot of my Pokemon can live +1. I'm sorry, -1 Guts Facade from this thing if it does come to that. But we have Grassy Glide and Aqua Jet, which will help. But again, that's my game plan. I'm trying to stop this Trick Room as much as if I can do it. So that's what I'm doing right here. And if not, we have to just play in Trick Room. I still need to get Chip on the Iron Hands. You know what I just said. And speaking of that, I'm actually going to switch this Terra to Grass because Grassy Glide is all over the place. So is Aqua Jet still. Yeah. And then especially in Trick Room matchups, Terra Grass Flutter Mane is very nice too. But I don't like leading it into Iron Hands like that, and then I immediately have to, you know, just be at the mercy of getting Heavy Slammed and then that's it, or I have to switch out. I don't like that at all. So we'll go Terra Grass. It'll make us a little bit weaker, but it should be okay. So now we've stopped Trick Room, and now I'm going to stop Amoonguss, and I'm going to reposition myself into well, if they go Iron Hands, I'll reposition into I'll like go Heatran and then right back into Rillaboom. I wouldn't stay in. They go Sylveon, so now I get Heatran in now. It's pretty free. And now I'm not really I'm not going to play with this thing here. Sylveon can't one-shot my Flutter Mane, so I'm just going to Heat Wave and try to get as much. Is that no? I don't need a Terra. Just going to Heat Wave and we're going to Moonblast the Sylveon. Oh my! I hope my Heat Trans's probably going. So maybe that Terra would have helped. Yeah. So this is stuff that you like. Nobody's running Terra Ground Sylveon. But this is just stuff that you encounter sometimes, and it is what it is. But hey, I still have my game plan. I stopped Trick Room, and because I stopped Trick Room, things like this will not be such a deterring factor that I can't still win. So because I was able to stop Trick Room, this is all I have to do. Surging Strikes Bronzor, or I could even Shadow Ball it and then Surging Strikes Sylveon, one or the other. But in case this is Cassette Berry for whatever reason, no, it's Violate. So I'll Surging Strike Sylveon, Shadow Ball Bronzor. I almost Shadow Ball Sylveon, but it's okay. And we have Protect here, so I can scout for Spore if I really want to, or I can just go right back into Rillaboom. And Sylveon's in range of Aqua Jet, it's in range of Grassy Glide. I just need damage. I really just need to remove Rillaboom. I mean Iron Hands, and that's pretty much game. But I need Chip on Amoonguss too with Shadow Ball. I don't know why they went this. Oh yeah, Rage Powder. So we're going to Protect and Taunt Amoonguss. I can't let Amoonguss do Amoonguss things. Hyper Voice, okay. Has Giga Drain. Okay, if you're going to go for that, I'm not going to... If you're going to go for Giga Drain, I'm not going to let him KO my Urshifu. So I'm just going to switch to Rillaboom and get rid of the Sylveon. Okay, I get damage on Iron Hands, which is amazing. And now Fake Out plus Moonblast, they have no counterplay to this. Yup. And now I can just Grassy Glide priority and just taunt. And we ignore Rage Powder too. And they forfeit. So again, that's why I led the way I led. I don't know what the Bronzor was holding, but highly likely that it was a Violite just because it's pre-evolution, right? But taunt, Fake Out, then just switch U-turn. I think I U-turn, but yeah, this just helped cover for my weaknesses, and it allowed me to position accordingly to whether or not I would, depending on the situation. And just even though the Sylveon was Terra Ground, y'all saw it just deleted my Heatran. But because we were able to be aware that we needed to stop Trick Room in order to win this game, and then especially because something like that came out, so we were able to win because of that. So like it didn't, even though that happened, like I wasn't worried at all. Man, Heatran is just so good. Like I feel like I've said this for like the past 6 or 7 battles of me recording. Like look, it just look. Yeah, he's got Empoleon, but I have Earth Power. Like, and Empoleon's probably taking like 40 from Life Orb Heat Wave, so, or 35, something like that. Flutter Mane could potentially be one shot. Heatran's just good, but I'm not. It's not really my win con, but it does do a lot of damage to their team. My Urshifu is really good. They just got to get the Amoonguss out the way. So I've identified 2 very strong Pokemon that I have that they don't deal with well, Urshifu and Heatran. And the main impediment to Urshifu is Amoonguss. The main impediment to Heatran is the Iron Hands. Now what do I have that leads solidly well into, that can pressure these 2 but also help me get out of a bad, or if I need to like play defensive I can switch out? Rillaboom. And the only thing that Rillaboom doesn't really want to stare down is this, but we have Fake Out to buy us a turn. So with that said, I can, and I'm Terra Grass on this thing too, so I can also lead my Flutter Mane with Urshifu and Heatran in the back. But I'm being aware of that backs, and I'm being aware of that Iron Hands, because those are they can do some damage, especially because I didn't bring Intimidate. So speed boosting Flutter Manes, I'm really not worried about these things. I can just Shadow Ball him and potentially one shot him with mine. The thing is, I did say I was cool with tearing this after all, so I might, let's see, do I need to tear anything else this game? Heatran does not need to Terra. Urshifu doesn't need to Terra. Terra Grass. Yeah, and we avoid a Moonmew. So I'm gonna just Terra Grass just in case he like Terra Fairy Moonblast mine. And I'm just gonna fake out the Empoleon for a turn. As he goes hard backs. And we just get rid of him. Yeah. The thing about speed boosting Flutter Mains, if you just run like a very I don't think if you have any bulk on your Flutter Main, you can still live a Shadow Ball from them, so just keep that in mind every time you see those. Like, you really don't have much to fear. But now this Bax that I just opened myself up to significantly has entered the field. So I want to see Bax's like minimal speed real quick, because my Rillaboom has a decent amount of it has a little bit, but it's not nothing crazy. Just want to make sure we at least outspeed this. Yeah, we do. So I'm okay with attempting to U-turn here, and I'm U-turning on Iron Hands because it's very unlikely to protect. I'm going harder Shifu for my Flutter Main, as that's the target for Fake Out, and it's okay. It's fast backs, or it's got some investment. I know all of their Pokemon. My Rillaboom was actually pretty good here. That's something I was not super aware of. Yeah. So the thing here is really going to come down to how fast this Bax is, because well, I need to put pressure on Iron Hands too. My Flutter Main's somewhat expendable at this point. I need to do my best to like get rid of this Iron Hands, so that my Heatran can come in and try to clean up for me. Ideally with the Urshifu along with it, but if he wild charges then we just lose it. Oh dang, that did too much. Yeah, we lost. Okay. I don't think we well, I won't say I don't think. I'm still satisfied with the way I played to a degree. I did kind of lower my guard a bit too much on this Bax. Yeah, because we really, other than my Urshifu, yeah, I overlooked that. I wasn't, that's okay. Oh, he's giving me an opening. Going for the Glaive Rush. Nah, probably not, because Empoleon could just KO me in return. And I can't even hit this super effectively. Let's just see how much Empoleon takes, just to see. Oh, that did a lot. But yeah, just gotta be careful of them ice types, because yeah, we don't work well against ice at all. Barring my Urshifu, but Heatran, most ice types have like fighting or ground coverage. But as for my leads, would I change anything? No, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Going back, the Terra wasn't really bad, but it became bad when they had Bax, right? And I did point out the Bax in the beginning, but because it kind of just went out my head as I started playing, like the Bax. This Terra wasn't the play. Now, if they didn't have Bax this game, this Terra would have been amazing. Just point straight up, this Terra would have been great, but because they had Bax, now I'm staring down Bax in a position where they have Iron Hands and Bax that I can't really guard against at all, and thus the Iron Hands and Bax like just beat everything else. Yeah, I still probably wouldn't change my Terra on Flutter Main. I could go Terra Dragon, that'd be interesting, but nah, that wouldn't help against ice. Yeah, but I'm about to be known as the guy that thinks Heatran is good into everything. Like, it's useful. I'll just say it's useful. Like nothing guards against it. I'm gonna try to use it early here rather than trying to preserve it too long like I did last game, because this Goodra, I need to keep this Goodra in check. Oh, I do have Taunt, and again I have the Terra, so like Heavy Slam won't one-shot me. And then Rillaboom is just decent into everything else, because I can reposition, I could pressure Iron Hands with a lot of damage immediately, stop screens potentially. So for me to win this, I just need to get Goodra out the way, and I'm going to do that by, if he leads it, like I'll have to taunt or whatnot, but when it's on the field I have to target it, or at least like stop it from doing anything with fake out or taunt, and then use Heatran to get actual damage on it. My Landorus is okay here too. Not really. Yeah, I'm not bringing Urshifu. And I use my Landorus to help with that as well, but that's how I'm going to win this game. Grimmsnow's not a problem, but Iron Hands, not really too much of an issue, especially because I'm bringing Landorus. But yeah. Now this thing, I know this thing has like, I think, pretty high special attack. Let me see. Oh my, whatchamacallit is blocking the thing. Let me see if I can move my, no I sure can't. Oh well. As the timer goes, we'll see in a second. I'm not sure if this can actually one-shot me. But I am okay with tearing this game. I'm going to stop this Grim. No, I'm going to taunt this thing, cause I think this thing like sets up or something like that. Mental herb. Okay. Again, this can't do nothing about that. And this is still a new format too. I'm learning. So will they get a screen up on me? It's possible. I do want to reposition my Rillaboom though, so I can. What is that doing? What is that? Is that just like a spread grass special move? I'm okay with that because that saves me. That gets me a turn. That allows me to like get rid of a turn of Trick Room without them really doing much. Now here, again, my Heatran is very valuable, but I still need to be mindful of this Goodra, so I don't want my Flutter Mane taking like too much damage, and I want to like immobilize that Goodra if I can. But Goodra, it will still take some damage if it does go in here, so I'll make this switch. That did 0 on Heatran. Did I see that right? Oh, Heatran took 6.9. I saw the animation, but like afterwards it didn't do anything. Spirit Break, Heat Wave. Okay, so I need to stay in with both, but I'm fine with this because they're just losing turns of Trick Room. Now this is the last turn of Trick Room, and they do have Goodra. I need my Flutter Mane on the field so I can taunt the Goodra. I'm gonna go Landorus still because my Heatran's not really doing anything. Oh, Guard Dog. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Do I even need to taunt this thing? Because I'm gonna end up Earth Powering it pretty much for the most part. And since it's like, yeah, I kind of want my Flutter Mane alive. My Rillaboom's not really doing anything. What would you even go for into Landers here? You would go for Heavy Slam or Ice Punch if this gets it, so I'm going to pivot around here. Get myself in a better position. As he Terras, which I'm glad that's out the way. Right, knock off and it Heavy Slams. Okay. It's not good. This game a little bit harder. And that light screen isn't making this any easier. I gotta get his Okidogi out the way. Bulk up? Oh, that's fine. Who's faster? Okay, we're faster than Okidogi. We're just not doing damage to it, man. because it's freaking light screen. I can't really switch in this position either. Oh, that can happen too, but what'd they go for life do? Yeah, now I'm going to protect my Heatran because this is the last turn of here. I want to go Flutter Mane, I really do. But if my Flutter Mane gets Heavy Slam, like this is going to be very difficult because okay, they went for Body Press. So now I can lock in the Rock Slide and just click. I'm not trying to miss because I'm getting KO'd if I miss or anything. Yeah. And now we go Rillaboom just to keep Rock Sliding so we can get this thing in the point where Moonblast can KO. Yeah, this game was a bit all over the place, not gonna lie. I mean, I'm keeping my cool, but I'm not gonna like just. I'll be straight up like. I kind of just like started saying, okay, let me just do this and do this and do that. Well, that's what happens sometimes. But you gotta be aware of that stuff though. But the more aware of it we are, you know, the more we can be cognizant and do something about that autopilot habits. What am I about to say, guys? Nah, I'm just joking. Heatran's not all that here. Nah. And take a seat, Heatran. Not this time around. Shifu though. My Urshifu does have some bulk, and I believe it can take a Moonblast from this. It's not the strongest Pokemon. It's Ninetales. But how do I win this game? Because my Urshifu is very oppressive to them. If I can remove the what is that thing called again? Ogre Pawn? Yeah, if I can remove that, my Urshifu goes in. And if they Terra something, then like nothing can guard against Urshifu. Barring this Terra Grassing. But then I have Landorus, I can U-turn on it. So I want to try to stop screens from going up. And the Pokemon that they have that pressures my Pokemon from taunting, the whatchamacallit, is Pokemon weak to Urshifu. And like I just said, they do want a Terra to not get KO'd by Urshifu. I have my Terra Flying Landorus that is also very difficult for them to guard against, especially if that Aurora Veil isn't up. So that's my game plan, just stopping the Veil and then using Urshifu or Landorus to win. Pretty much, it's pretty simple, nothing crazy. Debating if I want Rillaboom or Heatran here. Yeah, Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom will take a seat here. Now this could be Scarfed, but we are very, very bulky, so the likelihood of us being one-shot is not something I'm really concerned about. But I don't want this Crest doing anything suspicious, so if I commit this Terra here so that I don't faint to, I could just go my own Landorus actually if I want to just play a bit safe. Yeah, because other than that, what is Landorus really here for? It's just here to kind of weaken the physical attackers and pivot for me. So I'm okay with that. That way I don't even have to burn a Terra, and I can guarantee not die to potential Terra Flying. As it reveals Scarf to me, because it's faster than Flutter Mane. People in these Mental Herbs, man, ain't nobody running Mental Herb. I can tell y'all, as soon as we get higher up on the ladder, ain't nobody got Mental Herb on these crests or anything, because other than that, you just lose to a Mungus. That's why most of them run like safety goggles. It's alright, it's alright. We're gonna give this guy a bit of a is there any downside to me making this play? If they go Heatran for whatever reason, that gives me my own Heatran. Yeah, and I could just protect Flutter Mane next turn. Now their Heatran can't even protect. We live the Ivy Cudgel and that thing's gone. Now I could have U-turned. Actually. I didn't have to actually do that. But that thing was very oppressive to me. Now This is the turn where I mentioned that I would go my own Heatran, and then I could just go right back into Landers if I need to, if there's wants to stay in. I did okay. Oh yeah, it's Scarf Landers, so it's definitely we're outspeeding it. We can still beat Crest with what we have, even if I give up Flutter Mane. But I do need Chip on their Lander so I can KO with Aqua Jet in the back. And let's say he Flash Cannons my Flutter, then you get Earth Powered. Just point blank and simple. Oh, you can do that too, and I just get bodied. That one-shot me, is that Specs? That's Specs, gotta be. Yeah, because Life Orb is even Life Orb is a roll, like if you're like max attack timid. Yeah, that's Specs. Yes, that is Specs. I'm not about to I'm saying like, is that Specs? No, yeah, that's Specs. Well, now because that happened, this is gonna be a bit more difficult. I need to get myself in a position where I can remove Crest, but with what I have now, it can easily get up another Trick Room on me. But why would you do that when you have Scarf Landers? Oh, but wait, hold on. Let's back up a bit. Because it's Specs Heatran, it can't even hit me that much for much, and my Urshifu does have some bulk, so this turn I'm really just hoping I meant to click Flash Cannon there, honestly. That's not Specs, what? How you KOing my Flutter Mane without Specs there? In what world? My Flutter Mane was like, what, 91? Still though, you weren't Life Orb. Like, I'm gonna just give you the benefit of the doubt and say you're modest, right? That's crazy. I use Heatran, like I know Heatran. Okay, this is the max it could have done, unless it was like Expert Belt, but it obviously wasn't Specs. It's not Life Orb, so it would have been a roll. Okay, so they're like modest max or something like that. Flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. I can't let I mean, if Crest gets up another Trick Room, it's not like I just straight up lose, but it does kind of, I can see it coming out like a close combat, so let's see. But if I double target Crest, I just auto lose, so I have to spread the damage. Yeah. How much did the Moonblast do? 44. We're both Scarf Landers though. I'm not sure whose is faster, but I'm not even going to target that. I'm just going to Surging Strikes, and because I could Aqua Jet Crest, but I'm not going to do that because I need to remove Landers. And we're going to Terra Blast the Crest slot. I sure hope that Heatran goes for Heat Wave, man. Because it's going to come down to whether or not Landers can live that Heat Wave. But no Life Orb and all of that. Come on, Lando. Oh, we're intimidated too, dang. Then I should protect here in that case. Come on, Lando. No. Man, these games here. These games have been definitely interesting. Them early meta games. In terms of my leads though, I'm really not too dissatisfied with the decisions I've made. Cause like this lead here, Urshifu Crest, Urshifu Flutter Mane, it covers for most things that they have, right? Ninetales, Ledge, Heatran, even Crest Landers. And then I went my own Landers to make sure that their Landers was weakened, so I gave myself that option so I didn't have to react or anything. And I can still go with my taunt game plan, just based off of the knowledge of that most Crests run safety goggles. I didn't even like think about just Shadow Ball plus Terra Water my Urshifu to get rid of it. That didn't even cross my mind just because I'm so used to seeing safety goggles. But that play could have worked too. that play could have worked. And I'm not going to like say I played bad or anything, or I could have won, because I'm just trying to feel it as I go. Because I saw a post the other day by Jamvad, and he said something along the lines of like, we kind of define ourselves by how we kind of define ourselves based off of success to an extent. Like, even if we win games and we didn't play well, we're like, oh yeah, I'm getting better just because I won, even though I may not have played well. Or dang, I'm not doing something right because I lost. Not necessarily the case. As y'all saw, some of those games I really thought those out, and they really would have worked, but a wild card came up and that kind of thwarted my game plan significantly. And then from that point I was trying to compensate or get things back in order. But yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. But that's going to be the live for the day. Again, Jam will be in the description. Y'all can check out his channel and his book. But that'll be all, so I'm going to sign off, guys. Peace.